Hello, my soul-seeking friends. It's Shanna. Thank you so much for listening to Sense of Soul podcast. Enlightening conversations with like-minded souls from around the world, sharing their journey of finding their light within, turning pain into purpose, and awakening to their true sense of soul. If you like what you hear, show me some love and rate, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Sense of Soul Patreon member, where you will get ad-free episodes, monthly circles, and much more. Now go grab your coffee, open your mind, heart, and soul. It's time to awaken. Happy Winter Solstice! Today on Sense of Soul, I have Kimberly Quinn. She is a conscious actress, writer, producer, and director. Kimberly is best known for her roles in award-winning films such as Oscar-nominated film Hidden Figures opposite Kevin Costner on Disney+, the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice nominated film Saint Vincent, El Camino Christmas, and her recent film American Dreamer opposite of Peter Dinklage and Shirley MacLaine. But beyond the entertainment realm, Kimberly is dedicated to her personal wellness journey. She devotes her time, both in morning and evening, to nurture her well-being through her personal meditation practice. She is clear about setting intentions and prioritizes self-reflection, allowing her to cultivate mindfulness and resilience in all aspects of her life. She is also a dedicated vegan, and she's with us today to delve into the intricacies of meditation practice as well as her conscious lifestyle of veganism. So please welcome Kimberly.
Hi,
How
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Well, where do you join me from?
Massachusetts.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you?
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, okay. How's Colorado? I
Mhm.
always thought if I went there, I'd never leave, but because it's,
Well, that's what happened in my family.
see?
Yeah. Last night, I was laying in bed. Gosh, I don't know if it was a dream or if I was in deep thought.
Oh, geez.
Like one of those things, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, I
Uh-huh.
must have been in like a theta brainwave, but I was thinking about today, and it was almost like I was there
Wow. You
already.
probably were.
I know, right?
I mean, we haven't even touched upon like the actual things that we can do with our brain because no one studies that.
No,
The
right.
telepathic communication that's available. It sounds all hoo-ha, but it's actually true. It's like our spirit is capable and able to do all of these things that we're not even touching upon.
Right. We've been kept in this small little box. I mean, I grew up Catholic, so I mean, I feel like I had a very small box to grab from when it came to these limitless possibilities.
Oh yeah.
But it starts with that awareness, which you
Yeah.
also are vegan. And that also for my entire family, the awareness, right? The mindful eating. I challenge anybody because you're really, really focused on, oh my gosh, where did this food come from? It's beyond even the animal that will
It
come up for you.
it is.
Hmm.
It's for me, even like you said, beyond, it's not even about the animal. It's about the energy. It's about, is this food giving me life or is it
Yeah,
giving me death? Our bodies are temples and we don't treat it as such. And I don't know why, we get off this bandwagon. Well, I do because it's put in our face. It tastes good. It's all chemicals. It has addictive properties in there,
hmm,
and you want more.
right.
So there's this kind of machine that's working that's not on our behalf. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. I just am so aware of that machine and I take it personal now because I know it's
Yeah.
intentional and that doesn't feel good. And
No.
so that makes me even want to know where my food comes from even more
Oh my gosh.
and honor it even more.
We're really having to fight against this on
Yeah.
very high levels. People think that all this kind of stuff is conspiracy. It's not.
Oh,
Like,
no.
do the research. It's not.
Yeah. It's not conspiracy. I mean,
Right.
my God, that's just a word now thrown around like,
Isn't it?
to anybody who has an idea or an awareness about anything. It's like,
So
come
true.
on, it's getting old, the conspiracy thing.
Yeah.
Really,
Or the woo woo,
grow
or
up.
like everything is woo woo. It's the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
this fear to actually know, and to stay in ignorance is more comfortable, I think, for the
Yeah,
collective.
people just don't want to take accountability
Right.
for themselves or others. Just start being aware. I used to say in the beginning of my like awareness journey, whatever you want to call it, like every time something would come up, it could be anything, any topic, anything. Those times when you hear something and you go, "Oh, that's weird."
Hmm.
Right? Like your response to yourself is like, that's weird." Like,
I think I might do that often.
exactly, right? How many of us do that? That's weird. Because you're like, it doesn't make sense, right? So you go,
Right.
that's weird. And then what's the next thing you go? Oh well. Anyway, you
Right.
right? You blow it off and you just like continue on with your day. I can challenge anyone that when they say, that's weird, to
Okay.
actually know it's
Yeah.
weird and not right. And to not blow it off. And to
Right.
maybe start questioning it. We've all been programmed so much to think so many things. And it's just like, it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
We're all victims, unfortunately. We're all
Mhm.
victims of this craziness. It's our job to break out of our own craziness.
Trust yourself is really what you're saying. Learn to have that discernment and listen to that.
Yeah, because that's God within. That's your truth, right? That's God.
No one
Like
can
that's
take
God
it.
talking to you, being like, no, that's not right. So your
Yeah.
instinct and your gut reaction, that's just God. That's
Yeah.
just God trying to truth bomb you in that
Mhm.
moment. And the thing is are you going to listen? All you have to do is listen. Just listen. Just be like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, okay, I hear that. And I trust that what I'm feeling is true. Like that is
I
weird.
feel like there's so many things that have been so intentionally, I believe,
Yep.
kind of rooted in us. And
Mhm.
some of it just blows me away in the studies that I've done, just in my own journey. Like the word heresy actually means choice in Greek. That blew me away. I
Yeah.
mean, people have been trying to stay within the box and not near heresy forever. It's like they took away choice, the choice to listen to the self, right? To seek everything outside of yourself.
Every single thing that they're doing, let's just say,
Yeah.
right, is to actually disconnect you from yourself.
Yeah.
Every single thing, whether it's the phone, whether it's the
Yeah.
TV show,
Mhm.
whether it's the food you're eating, because the chemicals activate in your body in a way that it disassociates and it disconnects you from you. Because you start to feel a little brain fog, or you start to get anxious, or oh, I want more, or like whatever it is, however it's reacting in your body, it's just
Yeah.
disconnect you from yourself. Everyone's good from the head up. God forbid we go from the head down and start feeling what we feel, start connecting to who we are, start actually loving, just being present in the moment and finding that peace and going, oh my gosh, like I have peace right now. And I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not like eating crap to make me feel better. I'm
Mhm.
actually just sitting here looking at the tree and the leaf blowing.
That's so funny that you say that, because that's really what got me into meditation and mindfulness in the beginning. Was that I was diagnosed in my 30s with like severe anxiety,
Yeah.
and I was feeling it for sure. I mean, I was put on Paxil, stayed on it for 7 years. By the end of those 7 years, I swear to you, Kim, I could not even cry. And I am like an extremely emotional person.
Yeah. Cutting you off, just cutting you off from everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband was the same way. I mean, he was on medication for anxiety for a very long time. He was like,
Yeah.
nothing going on. I was like, dude,
Mhm.
like, I love you, but I would rather you be freaking out,
Me too. I would
telling me
rather
how you
be.
feel, being
Hmm.
angry,
Yeah.
showing your emotions,
Hmm.
than like just not actually even being able to express.
I know. And
I
that's part
want
of
to
life, right? Yeah.
What a shame to think, oh, you can't feel that. Or if you do, you have a problem.
Right.
Or, no, that's just called emotions.
Right.
And as my grandmother would say, this too shall pass, right?
Mhm.
Emotions pass. They don't stay with you. You can't be violently angry for 72 hours straight,
Right.
like exploding everywhere. You get tired and you're like, oh, okay. They've just like squashed us. We haven't been allowed to do
Right.
so much, you know?
Just to feel, like you said, I think is very important
Nothing
because
wrong with
as a
that.
mother and being busy, which you
Exactly.
know and I know, and it's almost like I was putting out this false version of myself because I would smile it off like everything's okay. Everything is good. Pull yourself together, right? Almost like
Yep.
suck it up, right? Suck
Yep.
it up and just go with it and hold those emotions in,
Yeah.
which becomes pain, which is what happened to me too. I had
Yes.
fibromyalgia at like 36 years old.
Exactly. Exactly. It all manifests itself in some way. I'm directing a play right now in Los
Mm.
Angeles, and it's called God of Carnage. And you're reminding
Oh,
me of the characters in the play because like my first direction and thought to the cast was everyone's a liar. Everyone's a
wow.
liar. It's about two parents, and one of the kids bullies the other kid, breaks his teeth, but everything's good.
And
Like it's not good. So
yeah,
if you think about it, how many times do we just lie
yeah,
every single day about how we feel, pretending with another parent or another family member or I don't know, everything's good. It's not good. And it's okay to like be like, I don't feel good right now. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to dump on the world, right? But like to own your emotions, to not pretend, to not
yes,
lie to others or yourself, and to actually go through it, get a journal, talk about why and who, and swear and do everything. That's your freedom space. Like,
yeah,
no one's judging you, and get it out. But on the other side, I always like to end my journals with a resolve and a forgiveness for
yeah,
myself and others. Like I'll swear, I'll yell, I'll do that. They did that, blah, 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 whatever. And
yeah.
then at the end, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
what did I learn from this? Oh, that I didn't stand up for myself when I should have. And I forgive myself for that. You got to forgive yourself. Most importantly, you know who your best bet of who you want in your life that will never let you down is you. And if you work on that and stay true to yourself, forgive yourself, keep loving yourself through all your mistakes, because we all got mistakes every day. And so what? I'm learning. We're all growing. No one's perfect. If you continue to do the work, then you know you're growing. If you stop doing the work, or you say, no, I don't need to, blah, 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 right? Then you're like, okay, we might need to, as a friend, if that's a friend or whatever that doesn't want to own, okay, I know who you are, right? Like that relationship might need to dissolve. And that's okay.
You know, I've been there, and I think many of us have, or we've wanted to make those boundaries. People talk about energy vampires. I mean, it's a real thing. I mean, I remember instead of waking up and having a practice, waking up and talking to friends who were complaining about their boyfriend or whatever, their life, and me giving them this great advice and being there for them, and it would hold them over for like a few days. And then it was like everything fell and everything we talked about was no longer. I'm like, wait a minute, we had a great plan for you. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just a disaster of codependency, for one, which I feel like is a toxic empath. I needed to put and make a space for myself, and I had to make boundaries.
Yeah.
And some people were very hurt by it.
Yeah.
But they came around in the end when they, started to go on their own journey. But I remember having a conversation saying, and I share this because I know it's so hard, but like, I'm going to start using this time for me to work on some mindfulness
No, don't apologize. Just be like, hey, Betty, like, I love you, but
Yes.
I'm depleted right now and I need to fill my
Yeah.
cup in the morning. And this is really my only time. And even though I want to talk to you, like I just this morning, I really need to dedicate and honor myself in this time and start my day off
Yeah.
right and for me so that I can talk to you later and have something to give you. Because if I don't fill up my cup, I'm done. I'm just going to be angry at you. And I don't want to be.
That was one of the hugest moments of my life, doing that, making that decision, making space for me for the really for the first time. And I had to steal it. Like I had to
Yeah,
wake up a little bit earlier.
that's right.
I had to cut off, some people, even if I could steal 5, 10 minutes. And if I didn't, I felt like I was being robbed. And it didn't happen overnight. Like it was something that had to become a habit.
Yeah, I have it. And like you said, stealing time. I bet you where you are right now, when you steal time, you could actually open your door, walk down your street, and come back. Like that will fulfill you.
Yep.
If you
But
have to steal that time, it's like, let me just walk down the street.
even in the grocery store, I mean, I seriously feel like I could put myself in any situation. I can be in this space and
Mhm.
it doesn't feel busy because I'm present.
Yeah. And when you get good at it, and like you said, making time for yourself, when you do get good at it, you do it everywhere. Everything becomes a meditation, like your grocery shopping.
Right.
Like you kind of just like get like in your own space and just kind of like walk and
Yeah.
it just becomes your quiet time. I got to get this ingredient and that ingredient. Like, well,
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's like that. Yeah, you're in a rush, but everything can be pumping gas, can be, let me get out, let me unhook it,
Mhm.
right? We're present in the, let me put it in, let me stand here, let me breathe. Every chore kind of becomes a meditation. Weeding, I love gardening, it's
Yeah,
like
me
even
too.
weeding, just sitting there, just like being
Yeah.
quiet.
Kids are always like, why have you been gone at the grocery store for like 2 hours? It
I'm
is
also guilty of like pulling into the grocery store and sitting in the parking lot.
me too. Okay, you do that. I always think like people are gonna think I'm weird. These people have gone in and out the grocery store.
Nope, I just sit there. I'll do whatever
Yeah.
I need to do in that time. Like that's my quiet time. I could meditate,
Yeah.
I chill, I could listen to music, I could put my seat back, whatever.
Picking kids up from school. In fact, my youngest is 12 now, so it's just gonna be short-lived. But I mean, for years, that kind of was my space, just I'll go early and get the best parking spot and just sit there.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
nice. It's
Yeah,
relaxing.
you need it. You
Yeah,
need it.
you need it. And you need the discernment to be able to know who. I was just picturing like moms coming up to the car, just to be able to have discernment
Hmm.
for who you're talking to
Yeah.
and where they're coming from. Because, like you said, there's energy vampires everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've learned to be able to like close myself down. I recognize, I go within. It's almost like I put I was going to say wall, but it's not a wall,
Bubble.
bubble
We
up.
call it a bubble.
Yeah, I like that. I put my bubble up and anyone can come up.
Yeah,
It doesn't
right.
matter because I'm recognizing you. I have my bubble. You're not going to penetrate the bubble and come
Right.
into my space. It's the people, they come and they want to stir you up. And
Hmm.
it's like, don't get involved. My mom would say, mind your own business. It's like true. It's like it's none of our business. We're so involved, social media and this and that and all and that. And
Right.
suddenly everyone's business has become
Oh, I
everyone's
know.
business.
Crazy. I always think that I'm like the way like politicians act and some of the news. I'm like, my middle school child doesn't even have this much drama.
Yeah. And it's none of our business.
None of
First of
our
all,
business.
most of it, 99.9% of it, almost 100% is above our pay grade. We know nothing
Right.
about that world. And suddenly everyone's like inflicting this
Yeah.
political world of like
Right. You're
I
so
just
right.
I
That's
do
so
what
funny.
if I start to get involved, I go, okay, hold on. It's above my pay grade. Like, why am I getting in that business? You
Hmm.
know? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
have information here and information there, but who even knows if whatever information they're telling you is true?
It's
freaking
not.
AI and all that stuff. It's like our minds are, that's why it's best to just stay
Yes.
with you.
Yeah. And
Seriously.
right now, especially right now, there's so many things that could pull you in any direction. In fact, it was crazy because I think I opened up YouTube yesterday. Like the first thing was like solar storm, and then right underneath it was World War III is starting or something like that. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So talking,
Well,
they want to keep us in fear.
yeah. They want everyone to be in fear because that just steals you away from you. If you're at
100%.
peace, you're connected to your soul and you're relaxed. But if you're in fear, you're out of your mind, you're out of your body, you're focused on outside of yourself, right? Again, it's nothing we can control and it's above our pay grade.
But what
Like
you can control, though, is what you
you.
watch. Just like you said earlier, you choose who you're talking to. I think it
Yeah,
right now is more important than ever of what you're consuming, what you're letting your family consume. I mean,
absolutely.
and you get on these algorithms now, and it's almost not even your choice, but it is your choice.
Yes, it is your choice. And it's biblical. What you watch, what goes through your eyes goes into your spirit. I don't have the scripture offhand, but it's
Sounds
biblical.
good. Yeah,
It's like, you have to protect yourself.
right.
It's unfortunate, but this is just the world we're living in now. If there's any war going on, it's the war for your soul to
Great.
stay intact and to not be dismantled by everything outside of yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
I like how you said you can't control it because, I mean, I do Al-Anon.
I did Al-Anon.
Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I still wouldn't do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Best
right.
thing from
Yeah.
ever. I said if every single person did Al-Anon, the world would be saved.
I'm telling you,
Whether you're an addict, whether you have
more,
a problem with
yes,
anyone or not.
it made me more of a compassionate person.
Yes.
I understand that I can't control you.
You can't
I can
control it.
only control me. And your stuff is not my stuff. This is mine and that is yours. And I think that when you think about it on a large level, like something like this, I mean, I wanted to save the world. I'm that person. And I wanted to save everyone around me too.
Yeah, there's a
But,
lot of us.
all I can do is work on me. And that's really what people need to do right now. A
The
safe
great
space.
thing about working on yourself, you think, oh, maybe it's selfish. I should be paying attention. Da, 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 da. But as you know, in Al Anon, you don't even have to speak. You can go and sit in the
Right.
back, right? And they said when I went, you will be changed without even participating.
That's right.
And I
It's
was like, what? What do you mean? How is that? How am I going to change
true.
without if I just sit here and do nothing?
Yeah.
How is that going to happen? Well, lo and behold, it did. And
Yeah.
then of course I started talking. They also said, when you change, your whole house will change.
It's 100%.
And I was like, what? How is that
Yeah.
going to happen? What are you talking about? And then I
Yeah.
go home and everyone,
Yeah.
because I've changed.
Yep.
So I stop reacting. I stop doing this. I stop doing that, whatever is happening. Right. So now just take it to you were talking about, yeah, well, we just have to focus on ourselves in this time. But imagine if we all just focus on ourselves, that me focusing on myself, you focusing will actually change slowly the
Right.
world
It does.
because
And
we're
it's
no longer participating.
right. Yeah.
Right. And so they go,
Lot of
oh,
people
well,
do,
she's
yeah.
not participating anymore. So,
Right.
well, I guess I'm going to go sit in the
Work
sun
on
or
ourselves.
something.
Yep. When the world no longer has somebody to point the finger at or put all their shit on, when
That's
nobody,
right.
they won't hold that for you. They have to figure out a way to do it for themselves.
That's right. Once we all stop
Yeah.
participating and take care of ourselves, we stop watching what we watch, talking what we
Eating.
talk, eating the foods, like being mindless.
I mean, I can't fight against a government
No,
about certain foods or certain ingredients or certain food colors. I can't do that.
no,
But if I decide not to do it and
yeah,
we decide to talk about it
yeah.
and why? And our families say, oh, well, wow, she's looking like she's feeling much better now and doesn't have fibromyalgia, doesn't have anxiety anymore. What is she doing? Let me
Exactly.
try. And then it spreads. And then the system falls because it no longer is serving anyone.
Yes.
Only
Amen.
thing we can do. I don't see any other solution except for going within, which is so sad because most of my life I was looking for the answers outside of me.
That's
But it's
okay.
not too late, right? It's not too
It's
late.
never too late. Are you kidding? And you've taught your kids, you're teaching your kids a different way of life.
Right.
You know,
If
whether you think so or not. It's like, no, you're not going to eat that. No, we're not having that. No, there's chemicals in there. No, there, I mean, I'm like the worst. It's
they're teaching me even. Are you kidding me? They're
ah,
so aware. Did you happen to see the movie Christspiracy?
no.
You're going to have to try to find it. And I know that when you see it, you're going to want to advocate for it. So, first of all, it's Kip Anderson. He did Seaspiracy and Cowspiracy on Netflix.
Okay. I didn't see those either.
Okay. Well, those, I mean, anybody watches that. I mean, I actually have a child who watched that, and she's been a vegetarian since high school. So it's life-changing.
Wow.
But he did Christspiracy as well. And I think that he had a deal to do three of them, a series, for Netflix. He had to raise money and buy it back from them because they were going to try to remove so much of it. So then he was in the movie theater for 2 days, random days, and I happened to like follow that. So I was like, I'm going to go. We couldn't even find it on the movie schedule. Like it was crazy. It was so hidden, but it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And I was so mad that I couldn't tell everybody to watch it. I mean, I
Yeah.
have. I'm like, as soon as it comes out, or, that's the thing. If they're hiding something so much, then it should be shown to the world.
Yeah.
And, even in the movie, they show, you know, whoever it was, going through his stuff, there was a lot of fear
Yeah.
mongering. I mean, he was coming out, of course, most of his stuff is about environmental stuff and about, animals and about being a vegetarian at least, but this was also to show that they went really far into the religion, showing that Jesus was also trying to show us that. It's right there in the scriptures. Like when he was flipping over tables, when he got arrested that night, he was flipping them over because he didn't want animals to be sacrificed anymore. And still today, they are being sacrificed, like
Oh, yeah.
in a mass in India, especially. I mean, and just, that's the thing. There's so many things that are happening around the world, and ignorance is bliss. But as soon as you become aware of something, it's really hard to ignore that you know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And the great thing is even if it feels like there's only a small group of us that are aware, right? Just not participating, it feels so good.
Yeah.
It feels so good. It feels like you have the key to like unlock the door to I don't know what, like I know things. I know that that's a chemical. I know that that's not going to serve me. I know that that drug is not good and that I can find healing through herbs and meditation. It's like the key to
Yeah.
happiness. It feels good.
I mean, I've already gone through menopause. I'm on the other side already.
Oh,
What?
yeah. I started early too. I was like,
What
okay,
is,
I guess
how
I
many,
don't have my beard anymore. It's not
yeah,
bad. I'm
that is
like,
good.
okay.
But if
Yeah.
I still wanted to have children too, you know what I mean? I mean, you have so many people right now that are dealing not being able to get pregnant.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like there's so many departments
Oh yeah.
of tragedy
Yeah,
happening.
doctors. I had my friend told me her doctor said, I've never seen more young adults and teenagers have so many issues with hormones right now. He's like, they're having the issues with hormones that a woman of your age should have.
I've noticed a difference with my daughter. It's like she's 18, going to college, and when she stops eating meat, she like glows. She feels
Right.
good. She does whatever. And I'm not just talking about like, well, of course she's eating vegetables. No,
Mhm.
I'm talking about someone who feels sluggish, feels this, acne, whatever comes up. And it's like, and I was just thinking the other day, well, the amount, and who knows if you're even eating meat at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Right.
let's just be true, honest with that. It's like, I don't know if this is meat because now they have lab meat.
Or where it came from. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what? What am I putting in my body right now? And how is that going to serve me? Some people are like, that's cool. Like, what? No, it's not cool.
You
It's
are
going
what you
to cause
eat.
destruction. It will
Yeah.
cause destruction. And then I was thinking, like, okay, if she's hormonal, right? Your peak of hormones at 17, 18, 20s, whatever.
Or earlier
Then
now.
you have all of this meat with the antibiotics and those hormones that's not organic. So now you're like overdosing on hormones.
Yeah.
Like just logic, just simple logic. That's not conspiracy. That's me at home going, hold on a second. That's weird. And I'm just
Yeah.
thinking for a minute. I'm putting 2 plus 2 together and I'm saying, hold
I'm
on a
curious.
second. That makes sense to me. If you're overdosing on hormones
Yeah.
and all of this antibiotics and all of this stuff, if you don't know your farmer and it's not grass fed, grass finished, like you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Like, know your farmer and get the grass fed, grass finished beef. I'm not against meat. I'm just saying if you're going to eat it, eat the
Yeah.
right stuff. Know
Yeah.
where it came
For
from.
sure.
Know that it's good. Honor your body. And if
And
you don't feel good, start questioning things. I was going to say, my mom's hardcore is like, you got no one to blame but yourself, you
it's true.
know? But
Mhm.
it's true. Take responsibility for your life. Know what you're putting into your body. Get
Mhm.
some sunshine. Put your feet in the ground.
Yeah.
Breathe.
It sounds so simple too, doesn't
And
it?
it is
It doesn't require money. It,
nothing,
you know what I mean?
nothing. It's like the key to happiness is $0.
I know. I know. And even to youth and longevity.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's a whole other like scam. Like we get old and whatever. That's bullshit. It's like we've just been told that. Like we've just been told, like, oh, at this age, you cut your hair, you get fat, you
Yes.
got no more energy, you lose all your muscle, you don't want, like, I mean, the
Yeah.
list is so long.
Or the crone, right? You're moving into your crone. If you look up the word crone, it actually says hag, like an old witch.
I don't even know what that is. I had never heard that.
So, yeah, so it
Mhm.
like follows the moon, but it's the woman's cycles, the maiden version of yourself, then the mother, and then the crone. Moving into the crone is like the wisdom.
Yeah. They just throw you away when you get to a certain age, right?
No,
But it's such a lie. That's another
such a
lie.
lie.
Because just like what you were saying, the amount of wisdom,
Wisdom.
we are supposed to be passing down wisdom for the next generations and the next generations. And we are supposed to be these beautiful women that have grown from all of our mistakes, learned, done whatever, right? And it's like now you pass it down and now you're looked up to, but it's this beautiful cycle. And
Mhm.
and you do have value and you do have worth and you are looked up to. I mean, when I was growing up, that's all I did was talk to my elders.
I know. I've heard you
Like
speak on
I
your
didn't
grandma.
want to talk to kids.
Yes,
I was like, you don't know anything.
right.
I sorry, but you don't.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
I just want to talk to the grandparents and the older adults and
Mhm.
get advice. But somehow the system has flipped and we're all turned around. It's not over. I'm not going out being like it's over. Like I have a
Right.
lot more to do and learn and
Oh, I
grow.
love to learn. Right. I mean, I'm a student for life. I'm so excited when I learn something. I just signed up for like 2 classes last week
Yeah.
for totally different things too. And a lot of the books that I read over the past few years have been like ancient texts, like real super old or like from the 1800s. It's
Yeah.
almost like I'm craving
Yeah.
authenticity, I think.
Yeah. You're
And
craving the truth and you're going as far back as you can go to get it.
unfortunately, because we have to, because that's how long it's been.
Well, yeah, you go to a bookstore and right now and it's like, what are these books?
Right.
What is this? Like
And
what are we what are my kids reading in school? What's happening?
a lot of people are living this almost this fake news. They're living this fake life, right? And it's because they're trying to fit into that American dream.
FYI,
Yeah, right.
newsflash, the American dream is over. Poor kids in the 20s and 30s, they can't afford a home. That whole
Oh,
like,
I
let me
know.
grow up and get a house with two kids and like this thing, it's over. It's
Yeah.
over. Hopefully it'll come back.
Well, I was about to say, my daughter just signed on a house yesterday. She's 25.
Come on. So it's
Rockstar.
not over.
I know,
It's
not for everyone.
your daughter needs to influence and help others, right? Because it's
Absolutely.
difficult.
It
Like it's
is.
difficult out there. I think people just want to stay safe.
Yeah,
It's a false sense of security.
it so is.
They're doing what they're doing because it's safe for them. You and I, it's easy and fun and challenging to go outside the box and think different and, take on some thoughts that kind of break some cycle. Like that's easy for us. Other people, it's not so easy. It's a very hard pill to swallow that they're intentionally doing stuff to your food. That's hard to swallow. Like that's not an easy pill to swallow.
Yeah. Mhm. A
People
lot of
don't
it, yeah.
want to believe that.
Hmm.
And I have understanding and compassion for them because it's not easy. It's very sad and hard and lots of emotions come with that, lots of fear, lots of what do I do if we don't have them in place to trust? And that's why you're talking about going within because if you can trust you and God,
Yeah.
it's like there's nothing else to worry about.
But I have been courageous in my podcast journey. I've not always been this person, to speak on stuff like this, but now it's become like my purpose to, it's not that I'm being, well, it is. In many ways, it's almost being like divinely defiant. I'll say it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so was Jesus. And
That's
people
right.
think that he came just to, bring everybody.
Yeah,
No, he was shaking shit up.
that's right.
Yeah.
Fight the good fight of faith.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say sit and relax in the good fight of faith. It's fight the good fight of faith. You have to fight for it. You have to fight for
You
yourself.
do.
And
Yes.
people are afraid of that
Yeah.
thought or that like whatever. I mean, I grew up a
Mhm.
fighter. I have it in me. And what I mean by that is my mom was using alcohol and my dad was an alcohol and my whole family, everyone. But my
Yeah.
dad
What
abandoned
about
me
me too?
and I lived in a small town. And it's like I grew up fighting. I had to fight for myself.
Mhm.
I fought other people, I fought them, I fought that. You got to kind of like fight your way out to kind of get anywhere in life because people they'll beat you up. I asked Jesus into my heart at 16 because I
Mhm.
didn't have a father. And it's like the Holy Spirit has been my guide my whole life. We're not talking church, we're not talking
Yeah.
institutions, we're not talking this. We're talking the Holy Spirit and Jesus. And it's like, to be honest, and I don't want to preach it, but it's like I don't know how you do it without it.
Some sort of higher power. And also, there was a part of me that got real bitter for a while. I almost felt like I have religious trauma syndrome in many ways because once I
Sure you do.
awakened, I was like, wait a minute, they used his purpose, his beautiful message to control the world. And I was mad. I was
Yeah.
angry. Then it was like this masculine thing I was so against. And it's not that I was a feminist necessarily, not in the sense that some people would define it, but I had a hard time like connecting back with that divine father. And because I felt I was lied to, and I had a hard time even trusting humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really hard. I think this journey is really hard because it tests all of the things that you've ever been told to
Yeah.
be true.
Yeah. You're not alone. I mean, hello, so many people have problems. My dad, ironically, taught me, he didn't teach it to me, but he said this and it just made sense. Is like, I love God, I love Jesus and the Bible. I read the Bible. That's my church. I don't believe in institutions.
Hmm.
And so I understood it, but if you open the book, by the
Yeah.
way, I don't know if you've read it, but like I've read it like almost 3 times. And it's like, talk about Jerry Springer on like a
Yeah,
new
it's like got
level.
everything in there. So I've been studying the Gnostic Gospels, right? These are all of the apocryphal texts or the hidden because they didn't fit the narrative, or maybe they were too feminine. There's a lot of feminine stuff in it. And I tell you what, I have always said that would make a great movie.
I'm like telling my husband, I'm like, you don't have to look anywhere right in front of you. Like, there's no stories on
Yeah,
earth that can compare to
agree.
what happens in that Bible. It's
Every
unbelievable.
all of their stories, and you know whose story, I feel like the ones who haven't had a voice are most of the women, right? Because they're the virgins or the prostitutes.
Yeah.
And like I studied Mother Mary, and her stories in the Quran, her
Mhm.
stories in the apocryphal text of when she was a child, not in
Yep.
the Bible, but they are in the apocryphal text. I mean, I try to give her a voice every chance I can, but there's so
Wow.
many of them like that. Mary Magdalene, she has her
Wow.
own gospel. These stories need a voice because they are beautiful and very rich with lots of wisdom.
Yeah. It's so much wisdom. And again, religion, books, lost books, things like
Yeah.
that. It's like there's so much in
So
that
much.
world that we don't know that's been hit, right? So it's like one step at a time. Everybody just starts uncovering things. And that's what I love also about Al-Anon is that it helps you to trust God, trust the
Right.
higher power, whatever that is for you. It's just surrender. It's complete surrender and
Yeah.
trust and faith in every single thing that you do.
In the Gnostic Gospels, in the book of Thomas, one of my favorite of all of the Gnostic Gospels, but Thomas said, the kingdom is inside of you and it's outside of you. And when you come to know yourself, you will be known.
Drop the mic. That's all you need to say. When
Right?
you come to know yourself,
Yeah.
you will be known. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Meditation, focusing on yourself, getting to know you, put down the drugs, the alcohol, the this. Like the biggest high in life is being present. That is actually the biggest high in life. But it's not even going in like into the forest and being present. If I'm completely 100% present with you, another human being in front of me, if I'm
Yeah.
completely 100% present with my family when there's a fight going on, when this is happening, whatever it is, it's like that is the biggest high. Actually connect to another human being and resolve a situation and go through all the yucky parts to
Right.
get to the love, which ultimately is why you have yucky parts, is because you want the love and you're
Right.
not getting it, not showing up for you.
And it's
Oh,
free.
and it's free. Everything's free.
I really appreciate you coming on and sharing. I really think we need more people in like your industry that can reach more people. So
Yeah.
that, I mean, I was happy if I hit one ear. And to
Yeah.
know I've been able to reach that many people, it humbles me, but it shows like this hunger for knowledge and for guidance.
It's very exciting. I
Yes.
think new expansion is on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
inevitable because the truth is available, you
Yeah.
know?
What's funny and not funny that God's doing is he is putting people between a rock and a hard place. It's
Yeah.
like you're either going to dive into
Right.
yourself or I don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
Like there are no other choices.
So true.
There's no other choice. You
Yeah.
either deal with yourself and
Yep.
not be afraid of yourself and stop relying on others, or continue to rely on others and see how far that gets you.
Be brave enough to heal.
Yeah, be brave.
I had to heal so much stuff, and I had so much ancestry stuff that needed just awareness. It all was just awareness,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. I
know.
should probably do something because, as an actor, you do crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been through, I can't even tell you the amount of healing and yelling and screaming. And like, it's just
Yeah.
like, I think I've done enough therapy for the world, you
Yeah.
know, seriously.
Therapy is
And
good though.
yeah. But I mean, not just regular therapy,
Yeah.
like other therapies, like,
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I've had People will come on, they're like, do you want to try a session? I have had so many, and I have tomorrow, I have an animal communicator. That's my favorite sessions. I feel so fortunate that I get to be around all of these amazing souls, and I get to learn and be a student and talk to amazing people like you. I'm just so fortunate.
Yeah, this has been
Uh,
great.
yeah, thank you so much. Tell everybody though where they can find you.
Oh, no, I don't do any of it. I
Terrible.
just have my little Instagram, the real Kim Quinn, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm raising my child. I'm busy. She actually said, she was like, Mom, you have to get on Snap. And I was like, what?
Oh, I've heard that
What do
too.
you mean get on Snap? I can't. No, I'm like, what? Who's snapping me now?
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
like, it's like, hold on a second. Who's snapping me? So ridiculous. I'm having fun with it, but I'm going, oh my gosh, Snap thing is terrible.
Yeah, because
Sucking their souls. Like it's such a distraction. You think regular social media is a distraction. I mean, the thing that goes off, the notification, ding, 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 ding. All of these people doing what? Sending a picture
oh
of their
my God.
eyeball. They're like taking a picture of their eyeball, and then if you don't snap them back, they get mad. So you like have to like do this thing where you're like snapping your eyeball or like doing
So
whatever.
it's just taking you out of
It's
yourself.
completely out of the moment, completely out of your body,
Yeah,
whatever's going
wow.
on in front of you.
Everything
But
in balance, no matter what, for sure.
it's so difficult. They're all victims. It's like us at home as moms fighting it, being like, put it down, don't snap, don't do this. You're on social media too much. You're on.
Right.
Well, it's the way of the world. It's the way of their generation. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not good socialization.
It's not good. That's why I've been to the freaking amusement park 6 times this summer.
Because you're like, we're going to walk around and go on a ride.
And they give me their phones. They want to because they're just having fun. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
hard. It's
thank
hard.
God my daughter plays tennis and she's an athlete and, rock climbs and this and that. She's always doing something. So she's not that kid on the couch, thank
Right.
God.
Right.
But I'm
Yeah.
just speaking to like having to snap people is like
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
It's
So because people get mad if you don't snap them back. And I'm like, does that mean they like you if they get mad? Like they're so late. It's like a code. Well, if
oh my
they
God.
didn't snap me back, they left me undelivered. They left me. And I'm like, what is all so what if you don't get back to them and snap your eyeball? Like what like is the world gonna fall apart? Like, why does
Right.
that mean so much?
Right. Is that controlling your emotions at all? Like, really?
It's
Wow.
weird to me. It's like just a whole weird thing.
Oh my God, talking about emotions, I have to tell you this. Last night, my kids were about to go, my little girl has her friend over, and they're like, we want to watch a sad movie. We're going to watch The Notebook for like the 400th time. I'm like, you guys got to get something better. They wanted a good cry. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore. She's got cancer and they're in high school, and she's kind of the nerd girl, and he's like the hot, like popular dude. And then they end up getting together and she dies.
Oh God.
Okay, let me tell you, these girls were like hyperventilating, crying at like midnight, calling me. It was so sad.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, oh my God, I forgot how very sad it was. Sometimes I feel like they don't make movies like they used to.
I want my daughter to watch Ice Castles, and I don't know if you even know what that is. Ice Castles and Somewhere in Time. You see
Oh,
Somewhere in Time?
oh, I love that. Yeah. I mean, just they don't make funny movies like they used to. Oh my gosh. I don't even watch television really that much though. But when I do, I'm like, I like Goonies. Let's watch Goonies.
Best movie ever. Or
Right?
Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah, there were so many good ones. Oh, I love Stand By Me. Yeah, I mean, it's not very even appropriate now. I guess that's what I've also noticed is that when you go back and you look at movies, I'm like, holy crap, that was really terrible and not politically correct whatsoever.
I know, but to be honest with you, that's how
It was,
everyone
aw,
like toughened up, got thick skin.
true.
You got to make fun of each other. I was telling my daughter
Right.
to watch Lost Boys. What about
Yeah.
Lost?
Oh my God, that was one of my favorite movies ever.
Okay, killing the vampire.
I
And
love
then
that.
the analogy of you let him into your house. So that's why you
Oh,
couldn't kill
yes.
him.
Oh, I loved that movie.
If you
Oh, I
don't
love
think
the song.
Yeah, right?
I'm like hearing it in my mind.
Yeah. If you don't think that that's an analogy
Yeah.
for dark, evil
The
spirits in your own life,
lessons. Yeah, the little nuggets of wisdom that I
it
probably
is.
noticed when I was younger, right?
No, you don't notice. But as you get older, you go, oh,
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming
thank
on.
you so much.
So
What a
nice
great
to,
conversation.
such a pleasure to meet you.
Love it.
Thanks for listening to Sense of Soul podcast, and thanks to our special guests for joining me. If you want more of Sense of Soul, check out my website at www.mysenseofsoul.com, where you can work with me one-on-one or help support Sense of Soul podcast by donating to my coffee fund. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to Sense of Soul podcast, and thanks to our special guests for joining me. If you want more of Sense of Soul, check out my website at www.mysenseofsoul.com, where you can work with me one-on-one or help support Sense of Soul podcast by donating to my coffee fund. Thanks for listening.